My friends, at 95 years old, I've learned something about headlines. The louder they are, the more likely it is that people miss the real story sitting quietly underneath. Tonight's headline is loud, almost theatrical. 1 minute ago, Trump gets very sick and spirals, and Oval Office presser Warren Buffett issues urgent warning. Well, that warning came from me. And now I want to tell you exactly why. Because while everyone is running around reacting to what they think happened in the Oval Office, I want you to take a breath and listen carefully. I've lived long enough to know that the worst decisions in politics, in business, in life come from panic. And tonight, I watched panic spread like wildfire across the markets, across social media, across the country. Let me take you back a few minutes to what actually unfolded. I was in my office in Omaha, reading through reports, when my phone started buzzing, hard enough to move across the desk. Alerts, messages, calls, all coming in at once. Something was happening in Washington, something big. I turned on the broadcast just in time to see Donald Trump at the podium in the Oval Office, trying to deliver an address. But I've watched thousands of speeches in my lifetime. I know when someone is steady and when someone is struggling. And Trump was struggling. His breathing was heavy, his posture slumped, and the moment he gripped the podium with both hands, I knew something wasn't right. Then came the pause, the silence that felt louder than the speech itself. He stumbled over a word, then another. His voice cracked. I've seen CEOs break under pressure. I've seen markets collapse. I've seen powerful men lose their footing in real time. This moment looked like all three. Then Trump stepped back, wiped his forehead, and the room erupted. Aides rushed in. Reporters shouted. The screen cut to black. A live stream doesn't go dark unless someone hits the switch fast. That's when the calls to me really began. Warren, what's happening? Warren, should we pull out of the market? Warren, is this going to crash the economy? Warren, do we sell? Do we hold? Do we run? And my friends, I've lived nearly a century. I know what happens when fear gets louder than facts. I knew exactly what I needed to do. So I issued a warning, not about Trump's condition, not about politics, not about sides or parties, but about something far bigger, uncertainty, because uncertainty shakes the world more than any single event ever could. And tonight, uncertainty was spreading faster than the truth. Now, let me tell you something that nobody on television is saying, because they're too busy shouting over each other. I'm going to speak plainly the way I always have. Trump's health incident, whatever it truly was, is not the danger. The danger is that nobody knows what's actually happening. And when people don't know, they imagine the worst. Inside the Oval Office, his medical team rushed forward. The Secret Service locked down the area. Staffers were visibly shaken. No one wanted to speak to the press. No one wanted to confirm or deny anything. That silence created a vacuum, and markets hate vacuums more than anything else on earth. Stocks dipped, futures shifted. Investors started hesitating. And what happens when the world hesitates? It trembles. That's why I spoke. I wasn't speaking as a Democrat or a Republican. I wasn't speaking as someone cheering or criticizing. I was speaking as a man who has watched global market reactions for 70 years. And let me be honest with you, I didn't like what I was seeing. People were on the edge of making rash, emotional decisions that could hurt ordinary Americans far more than any headline ever will. I said what I said because I've watched fortunes disappear in minutes when panic takes over. Now, let me tell you what was happening in Washington as all this unfolded. Staffers scrambled behind closed doors, trying to agree on a message that wouldn't send the country into a tailspin. Some wanted to release details immediately. Others wanted to hold the information until doctors had certainty. That debate, that tug of war, created the worst possible outcome: silence. Silence creates fear. Fear creates confusion. Confusion creates chaos. People began speculating about everything from exhaustion to stroke to collapse. And while speculation spreads, The truth stays quiet. Hours passed. The White House put out a small statement, vague, careful, deliberately soft around the edges. Trump was stable. Trump was under evaluation. Trump was resting. But people don't want vague tonight. They want clarity. And clarity is exactly what we didn't get. Meanwhile, analysts kept calling me. Investors kept asking questions. And the media kept repeating my warning, a warning I meant for the public more than the markets. Slow down. Think clearly. Don't make emotional decisions. The world might be loud right now, but that's when people need calm voices the most. And hear me clearly. It is entirely possible that what happened in the Oval Office is treatable, manageable, or even minor. But until the truth is spoken with certainty, people will continue to panic. That's why uncertainty is dangerous, not the event itself, but the silence around it. Now I want to tell you something directly, in a way younger people might not fully understand. When you reach my age, when you reach 95, you stop caring about drama and start caring about consequences. I don't watch headlines for excitement. I watch them for impact. And tonight, the impact I saw building was far more dangerous than the headline itself. Because the more dramatic the headline, the more people overlook the real story underneath. And the real story tonight is this. The United States, its markets, its citizens, its institutions cannot afford panic right now. Not over a press conference, not over a medical scare, not over silence from the administration, and certainly not over speculation. People need calm. They need facts. They need leadership from both sides. Trump's condition will eventually be clarified. His doctors will speak. The press will report. The truth will come out. But until then, I want you to remember something I've been saying since I was young enough to flip burgers at Buffett's grocery store. Be fearful when others are greedy. Be greedy when others are fearful. But tonight, I'm asking you to be neither. Be patient. Be rational. Be steady. This moment will pass. This uncertainty will fade. But the choices made in fear, those last forever. My friends, I've lived through 12 presidents. Countless crises, wars, crashes, scandals, collapses, miracles, and recoveries. And one thing has always remained true. Calm minds make better decisions than loud headlines. Tonight's headline may be theatrical, dramatic, explosive, designed to shock, but the real story is quieter. The real story is how we react. And if you want me to tell you the truth, how you react tonight matters more than whatever happened in that room. Stay calm, stay patient, stay smart, because uncertainty may shake the world, but panic is what breaks it.